Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari, Gandharvika Giridhari, Gaura Hari, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Dev, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Ananta Dev, Jaya Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे।
Even Kisora Prabhuji, he did his BE from Aurangabad, the university topper in this 19. And also he completed his master's from IIT Delhi. And from then he has been working in different MNCs and various schools. And currently also he is a manager of one of the MNCs, And also he started practicing his Krishna consciousness from 2005. So now more than 20
years. Oh my God.
We are very, very fortunate to have his association, and Prabhuji is also leading all the activities in the center.
Thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So welcome to our Sunday program. So we are reading from Canto 1, very beginning, chapter 5, Naradji's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam, shloka number 26. तत्रान्वहं कृष्ण कथा प्रगायता अनुग्रहेण शृण्वं मनोहराम् ता श्रद्धया मे अनुपदं विशृण्वतः प्रियश्रवसंग मम भवात् रुचिः. तत्रान्वहं कृष्ण कथा प्रगायता अनुग्रहेण शृण्वं मनोहराम् ता श्रद्धया मेऽनुपदं विशृण्वतः प्रियश्रवसंग मम भवादृचिः. तत्रान्वहं कृष्ण कथा प्रगायता अनुग्रहेण शृण्वं मनोहराम् ता श्रद्धया मे अनुपदं विशृण्वतः प्रियश्रवसंग मम भवादृचिः. अनुग्रहेण श्रवणं मनोहराम् श्रद्धया मे अनुपदं विशृण्वतः श्रवसंग मम भवादृचिः. तत्रान्वहं कृष्ण कथा प्रगायता अनुग्रहेण शृण्वं मनोहराम् श्रद्धया मे अनुपदं विशृण्वतः प्रियश्रवसंग तत्रान्वहं कृष्ण कथा प्रगायता अनुग्रहेण शृण्वं मनोहराम् ता श्रद्धया मेऽनुपदं विशृण्वतः प्रियश्रवसंग मम भवादृचिः. Word to word meaning. Tatra, thereupon. Anu, every day. Aham, I. Krishna Katha, narration of Lord Krishna's activity. Pragayatam, describing. Anugrahena, by causeless mercy. Only translation. O Vasudev, in that only translation. O Vasudev, in that association, Vedantists, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna. And thus, listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of God increased at every step. For a part. Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, is attractive not only in his personal feature but also in his transcendental activities. It is so because the absolute is absolute by his name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia, etc. The Lord descends on this material world out of his causeless mercy and displays his various transcendental pastimes, personalities, performing mundane activities without knowing that by such association one simply wastes valuable time and also becomes addicted to the three qualities of the mundane nature. Instead of wasting time, one can get spiritual success. Prabhupada is giving the spiritual success. How? By turning his attention to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna. By hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Lord, one contacts directly to the personality of Godhead. And as explained before, by hearing about the personality of Godhead from within, all accumulated sins of the mundane creatures are cleared. Thus, being cleared of all sins, the hearer gradually becomes liberated from mundane association and becomes attracted to personal experience. The whole by hearing about the Lord's pastime, one can become one of the associates of the Lord. How many of us want to become the one of the? Here is the formula. Narad Muni has eternal life, unlimited knowledge, and unfathomed bliss, and he can travel all over the material and the spiritual world without restrictions, of course, without passport also. One can attain to the highest perfection of life simply by attentive hearing of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord from the right source, as Sri Narad heard them from the pure devotee Bhakti Vedantas in his previous life. This process of hearing in the association of the devotees is especially recommended in this age of quarrel, that is Kali Yuga. ओम अग्रयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांच श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगण ललितां श्रीविशाखां वितांच हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमा च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरो दीनतारम्। Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Sunday program. So we are hearing from Bhagavatam Canto 1, Chapter 5, Sloka number 26. Oh Vasudev, in that association, and I could hear them describe the attractive activity of Lord Sri Krishna, and thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. Anupadam. So we are in the Canto 1 and the Chapter 5. The Chapter 4 and Chapter 5 both are the seed of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the Chapter 4, we heard that towards the end of Chapter 4, where it is mentioned that Vyasdevji was dissatisfied, right? Dissatisfied. And And what did Vyasdevji did? Actually, he compiled the whole Srimad Bhagavatam and also whole 4 Vedas divided into things. And after compiling Srimad Bhagavatam, he was still not satisfied. And then he was actually thinking, what is that I did not do? What was the wrong that I did, or what is that I did not do, which actually made me uncomfortable, unsatisfied? And at that moment, as divine arrangement, appeared there Naradji. And as soon as Naradji appeared, so now, of course, you would have you already have gone. So every week you take only one shloka, right? So you would have gone through that shloka. So Vyasdevji's example shows so many things. Vyasdevji, who is Vyasdevji actually? He is a literary incarnation of Lord Sri Krishna. He himself was not satisfied when he was actually glorified. Even Krishna he glorified, but not to the extent that he was supposed to do that. And despite that, he was unsatisfied. Can you imagine people, all of us, or people in general, the mundane people, those who are engaging in the material activities, do you think that they will be satisfied in the life? Absolutely no, big no. There is no way one can be satisfied if you are just engaging in the material activities. Vyasdevji compiled, he has written, he has glorified Krishna. Of course, he did not glorify Krishna, is the ultimate goal or purpose. And despite that, he was actually dissatisfied. Then we have absolutely no hope. No matter what we do that, we have no hope. And then Naradji said, Naradji, as soon as he came and he saw Vyasdevji, what did the first thing Naradji did? He smiled. He smiled Vyasdev, and I know what is happening here, because he is Trikala Yagya, right? He could understand the past, he could understand the present, and he can understand the future as well. But he still asked, what happened? You seems to be dissatisfied. Then he says that, yeah, I am dissatisfied. And Naradji, knowing everything, immediately he pointed out 2 things and why he was unsatisfied. And the very first thing he said in the 8th shloka, because he glorified Krishna, but he did not did sufficiently. Yesho Bhagavatam Amalam. Yesho Bhagavatam. Yesho means the glories of Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is Krishna actually, Bhagavato. So you did not glorify Krishna sufficiently. That was the first reason that you were not happy. So, but he actually talked about Krishna. But how did he mention Krishna in his description, earlier description, that if you want to attain something, you can take Krishna as a mean, but not Krishna as a goal. But if you see our parampara, what is our mean and what is our goal? Our mean is also bhakti and our goal is also bhakti. Bhakti is not something that we begin with, or that is our means to achieve something. For example, suppose if somebody wants to get something in material world, some name, fame, money, or whatever is that, job or something, then he does something and then he gets something. So there is a mean and there is a goal. However, so Vyasdevji said exactly same thing, that so if you want to achieve something, actually he talked about the 4 Purusharthas. If you want to achieve the 4 Purusharthas, you can actually go through this process and you can attain the 4 Purusharthas. And that is where Naradji said that these 2 reasons that was not enough for him. The first is that you did not sufficiently Bhagavato Yesho. You did not sufficiently glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the next reason that he has given, you have given too much of emphasis on the 4 Purusharthas, more than required. You could have just mentioned that, just passing remark that, yes, there are 4 Purusharthas, but he has given so much importance that ultimately everybody would actually talk and aspire to achieve those 4 Purusharthas. And what are the 4 Purusharthas? Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So, and even see that Vedic culture is so wonderful. It's not that just you directly come to the Bangalore in IT world and start earning money. No, first we have to do some dharma. So what is dharma? In a general sense. Sorry, bro? Cracking exam, huh? Interviews, okay. Cracking interviews, Prabhu says that is the dharma. So some righteous activities, according to the dharma, we have to do some activities. And when we do that, then after dharma, what will you get? artha. So you cannot without legal ways, judiciary way, that one can actually earn money. First we have to do dharma, then only you become eligible to not only engaging artha. It has absolutely no meaning, not even in the four purusharthas. So dharma, then artha, then once we have money, then you start fulfill your desire, of course within the boundary, not once as soon as the people start earning money. So before 18 or 19, before the job, they have to depend on the parents, and all of you, like all of us also that in the. And once you start getting money, come to the Bangalore or wherever you are, then you become a free bird. And the first 1 or 2 months, oh my God, I was waiting for this day. When will I get that? I have money in my pocket, I have time, I have energy, and no parents watching there. And then I can do anything in this Bangalore ACS layout, main road, Saturday and Sunday evening. And that is how you can see that the whole enjoyment is there. Dharma, artha, and then if you have artha, Prabhupada says actually that if we get artha, if you are not married, then what will happen? Dharma, artha and kama, and then vinashyati. So will dharma, artha, kama, and after that you are frustrated. Oh, I thought that if I enjoy all the facilities and everything, and I will be the happiest person. Then he realizes, this is something different. I am not still satisfied. And then he come to the path of moksha, and then finally moksha, and then going back wherever he is. But our guru, our parampara says that we are not only talking about dharma, artha, kama, moksha, but there is a pancham purushartha. Just now we finished our Bhakti Vaibhav, and there was one question: what is the pancham purushartha? So what is the pancham purushartha? To understand the ultimate goal of life is to Krishna is the supreme personality. Krishna is the goal. So that is what four purusharthas. And then about the importance about the doing bhakti, that even somebody falls down in this bhakti does not matter, because bhakti is such a way that he can come back again to the practicing Krishna. And then finally Naradji gave him instruction that now enough is enough, both ho gaya bhai. Expand the supremacy of the Lord, who is a creator, who is a maintainer, and who is a destroyer, unlimitedly glorified Lord Sri Krishna. And after that, now he talked about the whole bhakti. Now today's the section that we are talking about. It starts with 23, 24, 25 and up to 31st. This is the case study. Now Vyasdevji may ask, okay, now you are talking about glorifying Krishna, glorifying bhakti. Can you give me some example, right? Today is all about giving some example, case studies, some stories. We have tried person. But why did Naradji talk about himself? Why did Naradji talk about himself? From 23rd onwards, it is all about Naradji. O Muni, in the last millennium, I was born as the son of certain maid servant engaged in the service of Brahmanas who were following the principles of Vedantas. When they were living together during the 4 months of rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. So why did Narad talk about personal things? Vyasdevji asked about the past, about his past. Okay. Bhakti principles. Because if you have to substantiate, if you have to gain the confidence, if you have to gain the attention of all the audience, you have to tell the stories. As soon as you say the stories, and if in the stories there is a tension, there is attention. And there is no tension, there is no attention. So Naradji is telling his story, and his story is full of attention, right? So much of anxieties and stress, of course, some other reason, but he is fully peaceful, very peaceful. So there is now, and to substantiate his that, so now he spoke about bhakti. Somebody may say, आप हवा में बात कर रहे, कुछ example दीजिए. And then he said, okay, now I will tell my own story. And now here, this particular section is a very fundamental for all of our bhakti, paramparas, Gaudiya Sampradaya. Now we may have questions, why one should take Krishna Prasadam, why one should engage into the personal service, why one should hear regularly today's shloka, that all these principles are given, explained by Naradji's lifetime here. So now Naradji first begins that he had association of devotees and service and mercy. So that is what he did. So in the last millennium, I was born as the son of certain maid servant, and when they were living together during the 4-monthly rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. So it all began that. Now this is very important. Somehow in our Krishna consciousness, we are fortunate that we understand that bhakti has no material qualification required. Bhakti is independent. In the Canto 3, when Mother Dehuti is actually asking question to Kapila Dev says that bhakti is independent of any material things. And this is the proof. And what is the proof here? Naradji, who was the Naradji in his previous life? Maid servant. And that is the first principle, that bhakti is not dependent on any material things, whether our birth or material things, this situation, that circumstances. Fortunately, by the mercy of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, that we have now absolutely we don't even bother that from which caste you belongs and all things, thanks to Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise it was so strong that only some particular sect of the people have those access, others do not have that access. Prabhupada absolutely removed. Today nobody even bothers and asks that. Thanks. And this is the principle, because sometimes somebody may ask, how is that possible? Because when Prabhupada was actually doing, and there were questions being asked, how is that you are making brahmanas from those people outside, or those are actually taking all kind of things? And here is the things, no material qualification is required. He was born of a maid servant. That he did, he had association of the devotees. Very important aspect, right? If any question that we always come about, how can I become serious? How can I become sincere? How can I overcome all these anarthas? How? And the answer of how lies into the association of Bhakta Jana. And he also had Shraddha. He also had a faith, elementary faith. When we practice Krishna consciousness, we must have faith. If we do not have elementary faith, then even if you do so many things, we will not be able to practice Krishna consciousness. Because, you may practice, but you will not be able to get the results, because the elementary faith is there. Unfortunately, when we have in material things, we do not have question. We do not ask the questions. But when it comes to Krishna, we have 100, 1,000, 10,000 questions are there. So many questions will actually arise, doubts will arise. Now, Krishna, what if at the end of your life, if you come to know that there is nothing like Krishna, what will you do? That was the question. Challenging mind will ask the question. And Prabhupada is he has a sense of humor and a very hajar jawabi. He will actually answer questions immediately. He said, and very humorous way, he said, no problem. Now whatever I am doing, that even if I come to know at the end of life that Krishna is not there, but today I am happy, practicing, engaging, chanting his name, hearing his Krishna Katha, talking about him, spreading his name, absolutely I have no problem. But oh my dear friend, what if you come to know Krishna is there at the end of life, what will you do that? And he was actually on the back foot, because he thought that Prabhupada will not answer that. So this is what happened. So he had an association of the devotees. And then next, what did he do? What did he do that? Just not by association of the devotees. And let's talk about IPL. Let's talk about the political things. Or let's talk about the war between India and Pakistan, speculate what will happen. No, they did not discuss all about that thing. So what did he do? He engaged in the service of devotees, and he did not directly engage in the service. He actually helped his mother, who was actually engaging in the service of Vaishnavas. So this is again another principle which demonstrated here, that most important aspect, especially in our Vaishnava parampara, is that service to Vaishnavas more than Krishna's service, of course. Because why it is more important serving Vaishnavas than serving Krishna directly? What is so important? Frequency towards Krishna. Very good. Any other thought? Why one should? Because there could be two extreme poles. One is that it's only about Krishna. I don't care about anybody in between. And it is only about the supreme person, the spiritual master, and I don't care about anything else. Yes, Prabhu. Krishna likes his devotees more, and devotees have no constraints. Srila Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, towards the end of that, devotees are even more merciful than Lord himself. Any example, Bhakta Vatsala, any example of that? Devotees are more merciful than Krishna himself. Huh? Jagai and Madhai, very wonderful example. Jagai and Madhai. Any other example? Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Had Srila Prabhupada not been there, why would we on this earth? Why would we here? Everybody Sunday evening would be Sunday morning. We must be sleeping till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock directly for brunch. Getting up and let's go for breakfast and lunch together. But you are all here by the mercy of a founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Wonderful. So our sampradaya, our parampara says that we have to take a shelter of us Vaishnavas, and because that Vaishnava actually take us to Krishna. So we have to have Krishna and devotees, most important. And he engaged in the service of devotees. So serving devotees are very, very important, fundamental aspect of our Krishna conscious principle. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur actually talks of how many stages are there of bhakti there? How many stages of bhakti mentioned or we have heard so far? Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. However, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and he is giving the commentary on this particular section of this Naradji, is saying, and he has given in general, how many stages he has given? 14 stages. And what are those 14 stages? The first is Satam Kripa. The first is Satam Kripa. Satam Kripa means mercy of sadhu, mercy of devotees. His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, before coming to Krishna consciousness, and he had a poster in his room that. And then His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada in the first meeting, and he said that, how do you know who is a genuine devotee or who is a genuine spiritual master? And then Prabhupada says that, who actually says that he is not God and he actually makes us connect to God, he is actually a genuine person. And after that, 1.5 years passed, and then His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj started practicing Krishna consciousness. And after 1.5 years, Prabhupada ji was giving a class and Maharaj was in the audience. And then Prabhupada ji looked at Maharaj and he said, oh, you are here. I remember 1.5 years ago I met you and I was praying to Krishna, make him Bhakta. And today, and then Giriraj Swami Maharaj was actually thinking that it is only because of me I became a Bhakta, but it is a Satam Kripa, by the mercy of devotees, that actually will come to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, what qualification do we have? His Grace Gauranga Prabhu says that absolutely we have no qualification. Our body is made of all nonsense thing. What qualification do we have to practice Krishna consciousness? Absolutely no qualification. So the first is the Satam Kripa. Now here Naradji is actually describing demonstrating all those things. And what was the Satam Kripa for Naradji? The mercy of those 4 Vedantists. And after Satam Kripa, next is the Mahat Seva. To have your attention, because we have to put in tension. If you are in tension, then you will have attention. And the tension is that you will be asked all the 14 stages. You have to tell at the end of the. So be attentive. So if there is no attention, then you will be, today no prasadam. Those if don't answer that. Oh Prabhu, I want prasadam. Then you have to answer. The first is a Satam Kripa. The next is a Mahat Seva. Right? He did not even serve directly to the 4 Vedantists. What he did? He helped his mother who was serving those 4 Vedantists, right? So sometimes we think that, oh, if I serve directly Krishna, then why do we need anybody in between, right? Sometimes people will come up with some logic, because we are Bangalore IT people and our logical mind is always on top of everything. So why that? Why question is always there. So Mahat Seva. Second is the Mahat Seva. And the third thing is that Shraddha. We have to have Komal Shraddha, faith. We have to have some faith. Without faith, nothing will happen. Okay, so that's my brother was going to surgery. Then I asked doctor that I mean, what is the assurance of this success of this surgery? Just a couple of weeks ago, he said, gentlemen, you go. Did you ever ask that what is the guarantee that this rickshaw man will actually he will reach you to the proper destination? Morning, are you taking milk? I said yes. Did you ever question that the milk is only milk, it is not a poison? But when you come to the surgery, why are you asking question? So similarly, taking that analogy, why should we ask questions that when we have faith on so many other things? Of course, Prabhupada said, don't have blind faith. You ask questions. But tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadas. You ask question, but in a humble mood. So we should have a elementary faith, komal shraddha. If there is no shraddha, absolutely, even if you practice or chant, because shraddha is the foundation, on that you are building this whole thing. If there is no shraddha, nothing will happen. And then next is, after shraddha is Guru Pada Ashraya, which is seeking the shelter of the bona fide spiritual master, right? And then after that, what happened? So when you Ashraya, then Bhajaneshu Spruha. What is the next stage? So what does it mean? Sorry? Spruha. Spruha means desire. So desire for bhakti, eagerness to worship the Lord, bhajaneshu spruha. Now there is a desire that I want to engage, I want to come to the program. Prabhu is sending a reminder, please come to the program. And then there is a desire. So that desire, eagerness to worship the Lord. And then next, after that desire, once we start bhajaneshu spruha, next is that the loving devotional service to the Lord starts to manifest, and that is called as bhakti. So next stage is a bhakti. And then, so this is the 6th stage. So it is, if you see, the 9 stages and 14 stages, they are same. Thakur has given. So then after, next is a anartha pagamam. That means removing the anarthas. That is the 7th stage. Then tatha nishta, ruchi, then asakti, then rati, that is fondness, bhava, which is also called as bhava. Then prema. And then 13th stage, very interesting, atha darshanam. Atha darshanam means direct, you will get the direct audience. How many of you would like to have direct audience of Lord Sri Krishna? This is the stages that has gone. Prabhu only has raised the question, raised the hand. Okay, so we all want, right? How many of you want to be direct audience? Atha darshanam, and it starts with the satam krupa. Without the mercy of devotees, we cannot even go. You cannot bypass this, all those things. We have to go stage by stage. And then last is Harer Madhurya Anubhava. What is that? Sri Krishna, Harer Madhurya Anubhava. So this is the 14th stage. Okay, let's begin from the, close your notes. Right? So let's start with the first one. Satam Kripa. Why I'm asking all of you? Because you are young, mind is, memory is also very fresh, tender, you are working. Because if you are not working, if his axe is not working, it get rusted. And you are all 24, 21, 22, 20 young boys. So your memory is very alert, attentive, focused. But after some time, if you don't use that, it get rusted. So if you ask Grahasthas, so Prabhu, it is very difficult to remember, but you all can. Okay, first is Satam Kripa, next is Mahat Seva. Next, Spruha. Then 6th, Bhakti. The next, Anartha Pagamam, removing the Anarthas. Next, Nishta. Then Ruchi, then Asakti, then Rati. Very good. Let's have one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Because in our 9 stages, after Asakti, what comes? Bhava, but he told Rati. Now he will never forget in his life that after Asakti, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, what comes? Rati. And Chaitanya Charitamrita says, after Asakti, Darshanam, direct Sakshat Darshanam of Lord Sri Krishna. And then Harer Madhurya Anubhav. So at this stage, one spiritual body is completely manifest and one can directly associate with the Lord Sri Krishna. So these are the 14 stages, and here, so we could have gone detail that each shloka is talking that which stages Naraji has actually crossed. So here first he had in the first stage that he was fast life, the maid servant son, and then he had association of the devotees, and then he served. So what are the stages that have been covered in the first shloka? Satam Kripa, Mahat Seva, Shraddha, Gurupad. Next thing, 24, although they were impartial, of course 13 14 together also, that they were impartial, they have given their mercy. The next 25th is that 23rd 24 covers both the thing. 25th, only by their permission. What did Naraji did? Only by their permission. Huh? Okay, one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for these devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our weapon is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If somebody is having, because Bhagavatam is such a wonderful thing. If you are not getting sleep, come to Bhagavatam, you will get a wonderful sleep. So by making you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can be awake. So only by their permission, at that time the very nature of the transcendentalist become attractive to me. So then obstacles are removed, develop tendency for bhakti. So what are the things happened in this stage? What are the stages from Vishwanath Chakravarti, Sripad Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's things happen here on 25th? Anartha Nivrutti. So bhakti also, he started engaging in bhakti. So bhakti, loving devotional service started. Then anartha nivrutti, nishta, and even ruchi as well. And even today's shloka, and we are already 8:20, and we are only on what time? 8:30? 9 o'clock. Discussion is that, oh Vyasdevji, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantis, I could hear them. Here actually the word used Shraddha. And this Shraddha, and the purport Acharya says that this Shraddha is not to be confused with the beginning Shraddha. This Shraddha is actually means the taste, and then kind of Rati is coming to the stage of Bhava. So Naradji is saying that he has come to the stage of Bhava, and then couple of shlokas later, then he's talking about the Prema. So all these 13 stages, 12 stages, and then he has a direct association. So all the 14 stages, Sripad Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that it is being mentioned here. Now, the crux of our today's discussion is all about Sravanam, hearing, right? About hearing. That I could hear them describe the attractive activities of the Lord Sri Krishna. And if you notice, that very important word Naradji actually used here, Priya Sravasya. Priya Sravasya means, Prabhupada translate as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Priya means dear. Sravasya means Sravasya. Sravan means ear. Sravasya means about whom if you hear, you become, or you, by hearing him, you become dear to him, or you come closer to him by hearing. So these are the at least multiple shlokas. Naraji is actually using the word Priya Sravasya, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That and also Manohara, and also it is many words being used. Krishna oral reception. Why Prabhupada is giving the word oral reception? Why Prabhupada is giving the translation? You see the oral reception. Not just very simple, not like there is some big technical answer behind that. Yes, Prabhu. Exactly. It is just to emphasize that you just don't have to hear ISKCON says Sunna or ISKCON says Jane, not like that. So we have to be oral attention. And then I was searching, thanks to google.com, so I was searching, what does mean oral? The oral means it is the senses that help us to hear. So that means our senses must be attentive while we are hearing that. So oral reception. Prabhupada is so unique, right? It just doesn't say that hearing. He says that. So now, why one should hear? The first question, why one should hear about? And there are two things, not only about hearing, but hearing about Krishna Katha, very specifically mentioned, Tatranvaham Krishna Katham, no other things, only Krishna Katha. Now the first question, why should one hear about Krishna Katha? Young devotees here, why should we hear about Krishna Katha? We know about Krishna, purify our heart, okay? In Garud Purana, there is analogy is given, and so to emphasize is given on hearing, and there is one analogy is given that the person who is beaten by a snake. Now, once the person is beaten by a snake, he becomes unconscious, and once he becomes unconscious, then he goes into coma. And so, now when you say analogy, so you are giving some example to compare to one another situation. So now what is the one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Prabhu? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Now the person is beaten by snake. The conditioned soul also is beaten by snake. And what is that snake? Maya, ignorance. And because he is beaten by Maya or he is beaten by snake, he becomes unconscious. We are also unconscious. We are unconscious to what? For what we are unconscious? We are unconscious to? One round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We are unconscious to what? Sorry? Yes, one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. I mean, it's joking, but absolutely we become so unconscious to our real identity. What is our real identity? Krishnera Nityadas. We are eternal things, but we take the identity and we engage taking that identity and we build the whole castle. Then we come to know sometimes by the Mahat Seva, by Satam Kripa, that actually we are not this body, but we are spirit soul. Oh my God, I was thinking my whole life, the whole foundation is all about I, me, mine. And now here the identity that we are not that, but we are Nitya, we are the eternal servant of Lord Sri Krishna. And then, so then what happens? So we are in unconsciousness by the snake bitten by Maya, and then we bring the whole castle. And just like Vyasdevji was not satisfied even composing what to talk about, then we get frustrated and then we start searching, who am I, why I am doing all those things. I have one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada says that there are experts who are mantra reciters, and then they can actually bring this person to consciousness. So similarly, now that analogy is just like this. So now what is that analogy to Prabhu's that we are conditioned soul? Now what is that for us? We have to awake. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Just like the person who is unconscious brought back to the consciousness by special person who knows that and he become conscious. Similarly, the conditions, all of us, or maybe some of them may be realized, but the conditioned souls like me, that they can be brought to the consciousness by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, given by our founder, coming from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. By chanting that, one can actually realize who we are and engage into the devotional service. Just like that, when we are actually sleeping in the morning and we put alarm, right? I mean, sound vibration is such a thing that even if we are sleeping, the first thing that one can be attentive to only sound, right? You would have seen that Prabhupada's tune, right? Oh, rascal, get up. Why are you sleeping on the lap of Maya or something like that, right? So then immediately, oh, I'm sleeping on the lap of Maya. Get up, right? So even if we are sleeping, we are still attentive to the sound. Knock him sleep and he can actually not get up. So there will be some cases like this, but those who are genuinely sleeping and they come in contact with this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they will wake up and they will say, who am I? Why I am suffering in this material world? Because now you are not unconscious. Now you became consciousness by chanting the name of Lord Hari. Why hearing? It's all about hearing. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 28 or 20. It says that when we hear, continuously to hear the transcendental sound vibration, then he becomes free from all material hunger, thirst, fear, lamentation,